Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine's going good. It's Monday morning, and I wanted to do a special video on Afghanistan. Anything you turn on the news right now, it's all about Afghanistan and us trying to get the people out that helped us and our own soldiers, and it's just a mess. But I wanted to answer you guys a question. Why have we been at war in Afghanistan for 20 years? You know, I spent 20 years in the military. I made a career out of it. I loved it. I went into the military in 1972, right at the end of Vietnam. I was never in Vietnam, but I came in the military then, and my career spanned all the way to 92. I was in Desert Storm. I was at a place called Taif, Saudi Arabia, during the Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And I know a little bit about the military. And the reason that we've been at war in Afghanistan is very simple. It is because of the American military industrial complex. That's the reason. The American military industrial complex. When a nation goes to war, it takes a lot of companies to supply all the material and everything that military needs to sustain war. Food, tents, medical supplies, ammo, bombs, missiles, helicopters, aircraft, Humvees, armored personnel carriers, tanks. The list is endless of all the things that a military needs to sustain war. Well, these companies, all these companies that supply all this stuff to the military, that is what we know as the American military industrial complex. And all these companies donate billions and billions of dollars to get their candidate elected. George W. Bush, Clinton, all of them, they all receive millions upon millions of dollars each from all these companies that are part of the great American military industrial complex. And once that candidate's in office, what do all these companies do? We donated millions to you, now we need a war. We need a war. And they invent a war. There doesn't have to be a war there, they'll go invent a war. But they will go to war so that the American military industrial complex can start sending their supplies and making billions. Afghanistan and Vietnam are absolutely identical start to finish. They're identical start to finish. The scenario just plays over and over. How much did 20 years of war in Afghanistan cost? Well, depending on where you look, because I looked it up on Google, and everywhere you go you get different figures, but near as I can tell, direct U.S. soldier deaths, male and female, are 3,000. Injuries over 20,000. Afghan security forces killed about 66,000. Total deaths that had to do with that war is over 800,000. So the military industrial complex, along with the politicians, make billions of dollars, while the young men and women in our military are killed and crippled for life. War is big business. War is big business. The powers that be are in there to make money, and they could care less about anybody who gets killed in the process. They could care less. Afghanistan, just like Vietnam before it 50 years ago, was all for nothing. We went there for 20 years, accomplished nothing. Now it's fallen right back into the hands of the Afghans, of the Taliban. It's all for nothing. Many people became rich off this war at the cost of the American soldier and the Afghan people. And I believe that the only reason they ended this war right now in Afghanistan is because they're about to start a new war somewhere else. There will always be a war. You have to feed the military-industrial complex. Never forget, never forget, war is big business. And the American soldier and the local population, they could care less about them. All they care about is making money. Anyway, that's why we've been to war in Afghanistan for over 20 years. The great military-industrial complex and them making billions at the cost of the American soldier. Anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.